Another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast. Special episode 40, Tom. We're calling this one Chris Jericho Kiss Draft 4. Tom, how the hell you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm exhausted. I'm amped. I'm excited. Last night, we were in Boston watching AEW Dynamite. The event was insane. The tickets, the seats, floor, front row. Amazing.
Yeah, at the Agganis Arena, the famous Golden Greek two-sport athlete. That's right. So we got to see AEW Dynamite, awesome seats given to us by an awesome guy. We got to see Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, the Young Bucks, and more. And best of all, who did we get to see? We got to see...
We got a little surprise for you tonight. We're going to turn the microphone over to...
LeChampion. That's right. The New York Times best-selling author, actor, host of Talk is Jericho, founder and lead singer of Fozzy, current AEW champion, and Kiss fanatic, Chris Jericho. How are you?
I'm good. I would prefer if you call me the one and only you. Only you.
Oh, God.
I love that song. I love that song.
We're kicking off with... Go ahead,
It's always great when you get a chance to put some faces to the voices. So like I said, we were talking about this last night. There's so many Kiss podcasts, and I always give them a try because I'm like, how many other subjects can people think of? Like they've been, like everything's been discussed. But you guys have a cool take with the drafts and good banter with the Boston, filthy, super thick Boston accents too, might I say. So it was great to get a chance to see you guys and meet up with you. And we were going to try and record last night. We couldn't. I had to go to my boss's birthday party instead, which is much more important for me to get brownie points than to hang out with you two assholes. So we're here doing it now over the phone. So it's going to be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. The show was incredible. It's one of those things. I've been watching wrestling since I was a little kid. My grandfather got me into it. So I've seen all sorts of stuff. I've been to a couple shows, but I haven't been to where you put us, front row. So it's one of those things you can see wrestling all your life and the crowd and the people jumping all over the stage and stuff. There was a point in time I said to Tom, I'm like, dude, here they go. They're setting this up again. I'm going to get fucking drilled. All of a sudden, Omega lands. If I didn't brace myself, honestly, I would have got knocked the fuck out and pushed back into the crowd. Everybody's bitching because their beers got knocked out, but it was insane.
It happened twice. It happened twice where Kenny Omega almost took literally Zeus and I both out. It was amazing. It was a great time, man. Great.
Yeah, it's funny. Last week I had Kevin Smith and James Silent Bob on the show, and they were sitting where you guys were. And the same thing happened. They were getting wiped out by dives and right by the fence. And I think AEW fences are a little closer than WWE's. So you're more in the line of fire, shall we speak. But it makes it more exciting for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Tom that's his first show, not a real wrestling guy. Now he's fucking hooked.
Chris, I got to tell you, I was having so much goddamn fun last night, man. It was awesome event. Now, Zeus is incorrect. I've been to wrestling once when I was a little kid at the old Boston Garden. I saw the Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, Barry Windham, and Rotundo. So I saw that shit a long time ago.
Nice, yeah. So you guys saw a lot of things.
Oh yeah. So we'll move this along because you know what? Chris is an important guy, and we want to move this thing further along, make sure we have enough time with him. So last week we did an episode. We talked about All Systems Go by Vinnie Vincent Invasion. I know you were texting me. You were telling us you had some thoughts. Want to tell us your thoughts about Vinnie Vincent All Systems Go?
What did I text you? Was there
you
something
said
specific?
to me about a couple of the songs that your favorite songs on the album. I don't know if you want me to tell you what you said about poor Vinny, but go ahead.
Yeah, but the best part of all was when you guys were imitating the Slaughter record.
You left your wallet at home. You got a headache. Give me some aspirin.
Oh, it was embarrassing. It is embarrassing.
I love the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Both those records are great. All Systems Go is my favorite out of the two.
Yes,
it's really a perfect example of where kind of hard rock. I'm not even going to say heavy metal because there's thrash and so much going on, but just heavy rock and the glam element of it, and Vinny's guitar playing. But whatever you want to say about the first record, about him kind of getting out of his system, all the soloing that he wanted to do and all that sort of stuff. The second record, that was a pretty good band. I thought that Mark Slaughter was a great singer, super high vocals. Like, holy shit, you listen to that now, it's like Geddy Lee high.
Oh, wait a minute. We're not making fun of Rush, are we?
We're not making fun
of
it.
Good.
Super high vocals. So when you listen back to it, it is a little bit dated. But a lot of those riffs, one thing about Vinny, like, he's been such a strange character over the years. He's a great songwriter. He writes great fucking riffs. There's no doubt about it. So when you're talking about Ashes to Ashes and Dirty Rhythm and Naughty Naughty and Burn, like, just every song is great. I mean, Ecstasy is a little bit pussy, but the rest is really good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And, we did
thumbs up to those records. And then I love the fact that basically it was like Mutiny on the Bounty. His shipmates kicked him off the ship and continued on to multi-platinum success without him.
I know he's like the only guy to get kicked out of his own band. Like
exactly.
That was great.
Yeah, and you've met him or you talked to him a little bit. You had a funny story I heard about that.
Yeah, I do like signings very, very rarely, like at Comic-Cons and stuff.
Yeah.
Or horror conventions. But I'll do them if I can get guests for my podcast, Talk is Jericho. And the one time I got an offer to do one, and I think it was Art the Clown was going to be there from Terrifier.
Nice.
And then Vinnie Vincent was going to be there. I said, listen, if you can get me Art the Clown and Vinnie Vincent, I'll be there. I said, you won't be able to get Vinnie Vincent. The guy's like, oh, I'll get him for you. I'm like, okay, you give it a try. So they talked to like the convention guy, they talked to this guy, they talked to his manager, and Vinny's going to do it. He's going to do it before the show. The show starts at 12, the signing. He'll do it at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. I'm like, are you sure? Yes. I'm like, okay. Of course, about 5 minutes before 10 a.m. Vinny went home last night. He lives in Nashville. The signing was in Atlanta. So he basically drove 4 hours home to feed his dogs, and he's driving back today. So he left at 8, got home at midnight, fed his dogs. He left, he ate this morning. He'll do it after the convention's done. I'm like, okay, wait and see what happens now. So his manager comes over and is like, is he Chris Jericho? Oh, yeah. Well, so Vinny, Vinny basically says with his name value and, and with what you're trying to get from him, he wants $10,000 to do the podcast. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's, not going to happen. So that's cool. I was like, well, maybe if you go meet him and talk to him for a bit, he'll want to do your show. And I was like, I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way Vinny Vincent is going to do this because he's insane, right? So I go over there. And listen, it's Vinny Vincent. Much respect. He had literally 3 people there for the whole time he was there. I felt so bad. I had to hold my line for like whatever it was, 100 people or whatever that were waiting. And I said, just hold the line. I want to say hi to Vinny. So I went and talked to him for a bit. And, he's a little bit awkward, but he's sitting down, playing guitar at his signing table with nobody around. And talked to him a little bit. And, he's like, so tell me about this podcast. Because the reason why is like everyone always wants to get all this dirt off me. And maybe if you and I talk for a bit and I'll think about it. I was like, Vinny, I'd love to sit down and talk, but I got, 150 people in line waiting. So I just wanted to say hi and say, oh, okay, well, come back a little bit later on and maybe we'll talk about this. And it's like, I don't even fucking want him on the show now. Best part of all was, I guess about 30 minutes later, he was angry that nobody was there to see him, told the promoter, nobody likes me anymore, I'm going home, and picked up his stuff and left. So, and I told Paul Stanley that. He's like, well, he's right. Nobody does like him anymore.
Oh, of course. Leave Paul an opening.
Yeah, and then my good friend Mitch LaFon had Vinny on, and he was great. And I think actually Eddie Trunk had him on too. So he's done some podcasts, so you can hear them. But when he wanted $10,000 for mine, and then wanted to have a summit to discuss this podcast of yours. Meanwhile, I just had 600 fucking episodes. So God bless him. Great songwriter, strange cat. But we can always go back and listen to those Vinny Vincent Invasion albums for some good tunes.
Yeah, it's a little out there. In my actual day job, I'm actually an attorney, and I listen to him on Mitch LaFon. talking about, oh yeah, they're trying to, and I'm just listening. I'm like, dude, that doesn't make sense. This is nonsense. Yeah. And sometimes people are their own worst enemies. God great talent. It's a waste and it's a shame because going back to Ash, All Systems Go, that was a fucking great album, and that band could have continued that. I think that time of year is probably one of my favorite metal hard rock songs of all time.
I think they made a mistake by releasing that time of year and Love Kills as the two singles. I think they should have kicked it off with Ashes to Ashes or one of those tunes and then done time of year. And if they would have had some record company support and maybe – because I think the whole thing imploded because the record company was looking more at Mark Slaughter to be the star of the show rather than Vinny. So I'm sure that didn't sit well with Vinny. But that's one of those songs that slipped through the cracks. It should have been a big hit. Both those songs, they're both great hits. Yeah. I just don't think they should have released it as the first single. And then, of course, with all the unrest. And the fact that I think Gene is right, Gene Simmons, when he said that Vinny, I can't remember what it's called, there's some kind of mental affliction that just prevents you from ever being successful. You just can't take it. So I think all of those things are factors in it. And the point that Dana and Mark went on and wrote all these great songs and had some huge success with them kind of tells me that's the direction they could have went if Vinny was a little bit more, a little bit more mentally stable, shall we say.
Yeah. No, agreed. Absolutely.
Tom talks about that all the time, about Vinny being his own worst enemy. And I always think of the regret. Could you imagine if he kept that talent in Kiss?
Well, we always,
awesome that would have been as a songwriter to help Paul and Gene in between, write some with Gene, write some with Paul. How much better they could have been.
Look what he did on Revenge. I mean, the three best songs, or three of the best songs are Vinny's tunes, right? Yep. So,
you're showing your hand, by the way, on the draft, but thanks.
Well, there's the rumor that there's a demo of Boys Are Gonna Rock with Paul Stanley singing, and you're like, that would have been a pretty killer Kiss song if that was the case. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But they would have been smart enough to cut back on that insane solo and rein him in a little.
And that's the reason why, when you look at Lick It Up, for example, I guarantee when Vinny presented that song, the solo wasn't, a 4-bar chord progression.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But he was a great asset as a songwriter. I think half of Kiss's set to this day are Vinny's songs between the Creatures and Lick It Up ones. But like we said, he had some great music, and God bless him. And hopefully someday he'll play some more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think on our poll, it was Ashes to Ashes won Facebook, Tom, and Time of Year won Twitter as best song. We have one now, Crazy Nights versus Turn On the Night.
Right.
Those two songs, what do you like better?
Hard to say. I like them both. Once again, I think Turn On the Night is one of those tunes that slipped through the cracks.
Absolutely.
It should have been as big as Living on a Prayer. It's got such a great chorus. I'd probably say Turn On the Night just because it's super underrated. And, this isn't name dropping, but you guys know my history with the band with Paul. Yep. So I asked Paul about that, and he said nobody wanted to play Kiss on the radio at that point in time. He said it was very difficult to get any type of radio play whatsoever. There's a lot of pushback to them. Even as big as they were in the 80s, there was still a lot of programmers and radio people that said Kiss is a dinosaur. They're too old. We don't want them on the radio. So Turn On the Night and Reason to Live were two of those tunes that should have been way bigger that no one really got behind because they felt that Kiss was too old, believe it or not.
No, it's true. I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, and it is unfortunate because when we get to the draft, there's a ton of great songs that just died unless you were a huge Kiss fan.
That's right. Exactly.
Yep.
In honor of our great friend Murph, who was Tom's college roommate and a friend of ours since the beginning, he came up with some questions for all our guests, Chris.
Okay.
I think I know the answer to these. Favorite Kiss member?
Paul Stanley's penis. Oh, you mean guy in the band? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, no, I got to say Paul Stanley, obviously.
So, in other words, you're telling us those rumors about Paul are true? Is that what you're saying?
No, the rumors about Jericho are true.
Oh, is that it? All right.
No, obviously, I'm a Paul Stanley disciple. Yeah. There's no secret. Everyone knows how much of an influence he was on me. So probably second favorite Kiss member, but you got to take Gene out of the equation because, those guys have kept it together.
It's obvious.
Favorite Kiss besides Paul and Gene, I'd say Bruce Kulick.
Nice.
I think he's the best guitar player in Kiss history. He's not the flashiest because obviously Ace is the original, but all Bruce's work in the 80s to once again be that bridge that kept them going, and staying true to Ace's style of playing, staying true to Ace's solos, but always changing them a bit to add his own stuff. I think Bruce is a great player, very underrated. Anytime he plays anything on Instagram, it still sounds so amazing watching him play those old tunes. So thumbs up to Bruce for sure.
Absolutely. Good call.
Favorite Kiss song?
Oh, gosh, depends what day it is, but most of the time I'll say Black Diamond live from Kiss Alive 1.
Excellent.
Absolutely. Favorite Kiss album?
A non-makeup Revenge, makeup Kiss Alive.
All right. Oh, he's tipping his hand here with the draft there. That's the second time.
What do you think I'm doing, Tom?
I know.
How many Kiss concerts have you ever been to?
I think I saw 2 of the shows on the end of the road, and I think I added them up in my head. I'm about 17 or 18. My first one was Animalized in 85. Come in. First was, oh, there she is. Hold on a second. I just have to say hi to my lovely wife.
No, go right ahead.
Say hi to Zeus and Tom.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
That you were.
They were watching me eat cereal. So.
You're in your podcast room.
Well, because I like having the sun shining and stuff like that. So.
It doesn't feel very studio.
Oh, okay. Do you guys do edits? Because you might have to, unless you want to hear Chris talk to his wife on your show, that's fine.
Who cares, man? We edit. We could keep it in.
This is all good stuff.
A peek in the light.
That's more important than you, your wife.
Absolutely. Sorry. Right. What was the last question that you said?
You said 18.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
No, you said you've seen him 18 times, which is perfect because that's actually the exact number that I've seen him 18 times.
When was your first one?
Hot in the Shade, 1990.
Okay, so I had Animalized in 85. How about you, Zeus?
I saw him at the reunion, me and Tommy.
That was your first one?
That was my first one.
Right on.
That's it. Oh, yeah. You saw Tommy yesterday in his bootleg Hot in the Shade tour, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Because I was too stupid.
You hear that, Paul? Gene?
Well, actually, no. When they say bootleg, just a quick sidebar. Amazon.com has an official Kiss shop, and that's where I got that from. So
wow.
So it's not a bootleg, but I was too stupid. I was 17 years old when I saw that concert, and I was too stupid to buy a T-shirt at the time. So.
See, I had that design that you have on the Hot in the Shade tour.
Yeah, Leon.
It was much more detailed and more colors and stuff. So, and it's funny because once again, I never met you guys before, and I did see you sitting in the crowd wearing that shirt, and I was like, "Oh, that's a bootleg Hot in the Shade." So I never even put 2 and 2 together that it was you. So
that's us. Yep.
There you
right.
go. Yeah.
And I was the asshole with the Shout It Out Loudcast shirt right next to him. But
I know I never noticed you at all, Zeus.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all right. Favorite Kiss memory, buddy?
I'd say, as a fan, probably seeing Kiss the first time on the Animalized tour and hearing them swear. And he did a bit too. They don't have this on the uncensored Animalized concert video, where he held up a doll of Michael Jackson, and he said, "You notice how this doll has no penis? It's anatomically correct." Oh yeah. Oh. And I remember he was burying Duran Duran and he was burying Michael Jackson. So when I saw the Animalized tour, I was like, well, I guess they left those 2 parts out.
Yeah.
So as a person, probably when I got to meet Paul, because his son Colin at the time was a big wrestling fan and was a fan of mine. That's how we became friends. And I always had this dream fantasy all throughout my early career that someday Paul Stanley's kid would be a wrestling fan, and that's how I would get to meet him. And fucking 15 years later, that's basically what happened. So it's pretty cool. Awesome.
Yeah, just like us and you being a Kiss fan. That's our way of meeting you.
Pretty much.
Circle.
Yeah.
It's a circle.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Awesome. And so that helps us with the Murph questions. Let's move this thing along. We're going to get to like some Kiss news. And basically, the only thing they're doing right now is resting. And they got the Kiss Cruise coming up October 30th, I believe. And then there's Kiss Night in Vegas, which is a lot of the bands play, and they're playing a whole thing. I think they're doing the solo stuff, right, Tom?
Yep.
It's October 12th. And our good friend Sonny Pooney is there from Growing Up Rock Podcast. He's turning 50. And he's celebrating there with a bunch of them in Vegas. We couldn't make it out there. I think we're okay talking to Chris here. But you want to wish our friend Sonny a happy birthday there, 50th birthday, Chris?
I was listening to you guys the other day on the plane, and I was kind of drifting in and out as I'm kind of falling asleep.
Thanks.
And I kept hearing you guys, I kept hearing you guys go, Sonny Pooney, Sonny Pooney. And I remember waking up, who the fuck is Sonny Pooney? So, happy birthday, Sonny Pooney. But let me give you a little bit of an extra Kiss info for you.
Oh, breaking news.
Have you guys heard about Cruise Fest 2019?
I think so.
Yes, prior, yeah.
Yes.
It's October 28th at the Airport Hilton, Blue Lagoon, Miami, Florida, featuring Bob Kulick, Ace Frehley, Sebastian Bach, John Corabi, Lydia Chris, Return of the Comet. So there you go. A little extra Kiss.
I was waiting for you to say Fozzy or something.
No. We don't do the pre-cruise. We just do the cruise. We did the cruise a couple of years ago.
I know. Nice. Of course, that's not the time we wanted to go, too. That would have been sweet. I'll leave that for a question later for you.
Sure.
So now you have your cruise coming out, which is sold out.
Yes.
You want to tell us about it?
Basically I came up with the idea when we did the Kiss cruise, and I was thinking, I can really do this because I was really impressed with the camaraderie on the ship. I was impressed with the amount of activity there was. There was so much stuff you could do on board that cruise. And I thought, even if you're not a Kiss fan, you would have fun on this. So I thought, well, what am I known for? Music and wrestling. Why don't I do a rock and wrestling cruise? Figure out a way to have matches at sea in the middle of the ocean. Put some rock and roll bands on there, some comedians, live podcasts, et cetera, And it took me about 3 years to get it up and running. But once I did, we sold out last year right at the wire. And then we sold out this year with 4 months to go.
Wow.
Awesome.
So, my idea is to make it a annual destination vacation the same way that the Kiss Cruise is for a whole community of fans who look forward to it annually.
Yeah,
Excellent.
your lineup
Awesome.
is stacked.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. The first one that you do is always a little harder because people don't know what it's going to be like. So the second one, I had a lot more response and was able to get a few bigger names. Once again, I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars for a budget, but you can make some money and, more importantly, have a great vacation where everything's taken care of. That's basically the financial benefit to doing this. So I think we had a lot of people last year who when the word got around how much fun it was, had a little bit of FOMO and basically went like, holy shit, like we want to be a part of this for next year. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just
cool.
looking at the list of people you have on here and the bands, comedians, podcasts, even have your dads coming with you, right?
Well, he's such a friendly guy that he was on the cruise last year, and like everyone's like, "How's your dad doing? Is your dad coming back?" And I was like, "Well, if you're that popular, I'm going to put you to work. Sign this contract for $500 and go walk around the ship, meeting and greeting people. That's your job."
Can we call him the former Boston Bruin great?
You sure can. That's his first NHL game was with the Boston Bruins.
That's right. Tom, I was giving him talking to Chris back when the Bruins were in the final, Game 7, that is. And I was like, come on, you got to be rooting for the Bruins. And you said something about, I think your dad was more games in St. Louis or something, and that's why you rooted for the Blues?
Yeah. But I'm actually looking at the stats right now. 1963-64, he played one game with the Boston Bruins. No goals, no assists, no penalty minutes. So, but
he just missed the Bobby Orr era.
Well, having said that, he was 19 years old there. So, and then he went on to have a great career with the Kings and the Rangers and the Blues. His final stats were 724 NHL games, 154 goals, 331 points, 657 penalty minutes.
Nice.
Awesome,
there you go. So, very cool.
Very
That's
cool.
Awesome. So, Tom, what else do we got going? Chris, anything else you want to talk about? What's going on with Fozzy, where you're at now? I mean, I know you finished up on a tour. Nowhere to Run is a big hit again. Now it's a new song. That's what, your fifth top 30?
Fifth consecutive top 25 now, actually. So it's still rising, which is great. But yeah, man, we had a great tour. We did a stadium show with Iron Maiden, which was huge.
Oh.
And so we built a tour around that. And just working on a new record, basically, and building this song. So we got a lot of cool shit going on, which is very cool because it was a lot of work for us. But once you get that work and get the ball rolling, when you can get to that position where they're playing you on the radio, to where you get into the top 30 every time, then hopefully we'll get in the top 20. Then you start getting the top 10, and that's where you start really building your band, because it's something that guys like I'm assuming guys like yourself too, because we listen to older bands, but rock radio is still very important to building a group in this day and age. And I never realized it until we started getting played on rock radio and just how beneficial it was to the growth of our band. So.
Well, real quick, piggybacking on you said the growth of rock radio. So I'm a subscriber to satellite radio, Sirius XM.
Yeah.
And talk very quickly, if you can, about the show that you do on Octane, where the station that promotes the new rock. They play Fozzy a lot. They play a lot of these new up-and-coming hard rock bands that, if it weren't for Octane, you probably wouldn't hear them too much, unfortunately. So talk a little bit about the show that you have on Octane.
Yeah, we have a great connection and great support from Octane and from the program director there. And he asked if I wanted to do a show, and it's cool. I mean, they send me songs that they'd like me to play, and I throw in some songs that I want to play, and it gives a real good mix of heavy metal tunes from the past, present, and from the now. And it's the only place you're ever going to hear Halloween or Kick-Axe or Lizzie Borden or any of those type of bands on mainstream satellite radio.
Awesome.
Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie
Holy
Borden.
shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff.
And then
I'm playing Hate by Kiss this week because I wanted to play a Kiss song. I'm like, what's a great Kiss song that no one ever hears?
Well, it's funny.
Hate on there.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say it because Zeus is not a serious subscriber, and I am. And I took a picture of your show a couple weeks ago. You played Spit. And it was the first time I've ever heard Spit on any channel, on anything on. I said, this is definitely Jericho's sweet spot right here. Playing.
Exactly,
awesome.
Man. It's
And then obviously the last thing before we get into everything, AEW, you're their inaugural champion. They just had their second show last night, was taped in Boston. We were there. Following you guys kind of from the start. Obviously, I've been following your career from the start. Want to tell us a little quick thing on AEW and your reign here? And your new group that was
announced last night.
Baptized with the name last night.
Yeah, man. I mean, we had we've been working on this new company for a while. We had our debut last Wednesday, and we're just starting to tell our stories and put together everything. And you guys got a chance to be a part of history, to see kind of the second ever AEW episode. And like I said, it's really cool to kind of have it all happening and all actually on TV after 10 months of working on it. And it's caused a lot of buzz. It's made wrestling and AEW very cool once again. So
absolutely.
I'm really excited about it. Look forward to it. And I'm look forward to seeing where it goes and entertaining everybody in a completely different way from what they're used to in the world of wrestling.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'd be kicking myself if I didn't bring up you winning the night you won your championship in that nice viral video that just went out then went huge. And we even had our guy, Daryl Albert, who's a digital marketing at Pantheon Podcast. I was like, I gave him the idea. It was my idea. I'm like, you got to take Paul Stanley's banter from Cold Gin and put in a little bit of the bubble right in between there and put it on.
He did it. He did it.
We'll see it on Instagram.
You gotta have that soundbite on cue.
I'll send it to you again. He did an awesome job, and so
how many people out there that can take a taste of the bubbly?
That's exactly what he did.
It went along the way. Yeah, it was awesome.
I always love that line. It's really hot outside, so you need something to cool you off. Nothing cools you off like a nice shot of tequila. That's how you can tell that Paul and Gene never drink.
Exactly. Oh, totally.
He's talking about like vodka and orange juice.
Vodka and orange juice.
Screwdrivers. He's gonna drink.
That's what they got to do. They got to make mimosas. A little bit of the bubbly
and orange juice.
There you go. That'll be our next one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it.
Let's get to business here.
All right. Before we get started, let's take a little break. I'm going to put Chris in the walls of Jericho, and we'll be right back.
All right. So we're back at it, ass clowns. Let's get the draft going here.
All right. So we're doing a non-makeup Kiss draft. Everyone's got their list. We're talking about albums, Lick It Up, Animalize, Asylum, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, Crazy Night, Hot in the Shade, Revenge, Carnival of Souls, and there's 2 songs from the box set.
Correct.
Right? The non-makeup songs.
It's interesting. It's funny. I don't have Hot in the Shade on my list. Do you guys have it on yours? Did I forget to print something out?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you missed it. It's on there, brother.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to Google Hot in the Shade and put those songs up right now. We'll be all
Perfect.
set.
That's right. You don't have to pick from that. It's one of our favorite albums. So before we say that, what are your thoughts on the non-makeup era? We know that's kind of your favorite, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's a great quote from Paul where he says that it doesn't matter what floor of the Kiss elevator you get on as long as you get on. And I mentioned it before, Kiss Animalized was my indoctrination to Kiss. I knew who they were and what they were, but I didn't know much about them. And when I saw the Heavens on Fire video, I was like, who is that guy? He's got his hands on fire. They're just making out with chicks under pianos. They're coming out of a shower with chicks. He's jumping through a hoop of fire at the end. I was like, that's awesome. Who are those guys? I was like, it's Kiss. And I said, Kiss? Isn't that the makeup thing? Oh, they don't have makeup anymore. It's like, fuck, I love this. So that's where I got into Kiss, and I really stuck with them. My favorite era. That's why I mentioned Bruce Kulick earlier, and I might have been one of the only people in the world that was a little bit disappointed when they made the announcement to put the makeup back on.
Yeah.
And I think to this day, I still think the tightest, most technically proficient lineup they ever had was the 80s lineup with Bruce and both Eric's, because Eric Singer with Bruce was great too. So
absolutely.
I love most of these things. If you would have said, let's do a 70s draft, I would be into it. But the 80s one, I mean, that's why we're here right now in the middle of the afternoon, because I couldn't resist this one. So I'm excited about it, man.
Well, so you got the number one pick in this draft. So go for it. You got the number one.
We're not going to fuck with you, brother. Nope. You're up.
You,
take it. Number one.
Well, I'm going to take what I feel is the best written song of the 80s and one of the best choruses in rock and roll history. And I'm so happy they brought it back into the set. And I'm talking about Heavens on Fire from Animalize.
All right. You're next.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take the next one. You're going to make this easy for me. You knew I was going to go here, Tom. I love this song. I think it's a top 5 for me, Kiss song. Lyrics, guitar solo, vocals. Paul kills it. This is just unbelievable. It's just such a well-done song. Of course, Vinny's part of it, 1,000,000 to 1.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Okay.
I would have chosen that for my team, just so you know.
All right, so just for the record, my number one pick is going to give away a lot because Gene is my guy. Revenge is my album. I know everybody's really in love with the 80s, as am I. But for me, my number one pick, it's got to be the best song off the best non-makeup album, Unholy, off of Revenge.
Yeah, it would have been on mine too. And let's not confuse this. We're not talking 80s Kiss. We're talking non-makeup Kiss.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And that's why I was saying I was disappointed in the 90s when they decided to put the makeup on, because I really, obviously Revenge is my favorite, but I thought Carnival Souls had some great stuff on it.
I agree.
Paul, of course, hates it. But both those songs would have been on my tune. So
would you find it awkward though? Be honest. When you see makeup Kiss playing Heavens on Fire?
A little bit, but it's Paul's song. I think Heavens on Fire fits and Lick It Up fits. And if they decided to do Unholy, that would fit too, because that's a demon song of him.
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, I mean, if they started doing, I remember they did Tears Are Falling a couple years ago, and it didn't quite fit, and Hide Your Heart doesn't quite fit. So Crazy Nights works though; they got that in the set, so that's cool too. But
you're up again, brother.
I'm up again. Okay, I am going to do. I will put probably the epitome of '80s Kiss to me, and more importantly, the epitome of Paul Stanley when he was taking over the band. It's super catchy. And when he played it on the 89 tour, I loved it. I got to go with Let's Put the X in Sex.
Oh, Zeus loves that song.
That's a steal.
When I did Eddie Trunk and what's your top 20 Kiss songs, I put Let's Put the X in Sex at number 1 just to fuck with him. He was so insulted. I'm like, dude, it's one of the best songs. He's like, that's terrible. I'm like, no, it's great. But
he's doing the X for the people.
Put the X in Sex. Paul's like,
the cliche and the innuendo, sex innuendo, that is Paul at his peak.
But
it makes sense. It's clever.
And when you're looking at that era and that decade with David Lee Roth doing all of his stuff and Whitesnake, you know, they were all talking about sex constantly. Bon Jovi, the videos were filled with chicks. That is, to me, the best 80s sex song. And it's super catchy. Why is it super catchy? Because, once again, it's a Desmond Child tune.
Absolutely.
You can't fucking beat a Desmond Child tune.
Yep.
Heavens on Fire is also have a Desmond Child tune. So I just think that like we were talking about, if you want the excess of that decade, talking about Kiss with no makeup, that's the epitome for me.
Perfect.
Absolutely. I'm going to go with another one of his. I think when we do lyrics and crazy lyrics, Tom, you know I always take this. Take It Off.
Oh, damn it.
I don't even know where to go. Which line is in the song is the best. It's just so over the top, awesome. Awesomely cheesy. It's the best stripper song they have.
I think, my mind is getting dirty just around 11:30. That about says it all right there.
I say that may be the peak of Paul's lyrical genius right there. Verse after verse, line after line, he just nails it. All right.
Yeah. Put a little oil and your blood begins to boil, Tom. Go ahead.
Exactly. All right. This is going to be difficult for me because I got to remember this is a draft, so I don't want to take this song too high because I don't know if you guys are going to take it. But all right. So I'm going to go with my favorite song off of Lick It Up. A lot of people may not agree, but I'm sorry. I love it. Gene and Eric carry the song Young and Wasted.
Oh, nice. That's great on the Animalized tour. This holds up well.
Yeah, because Eric is singing it.
Eric's singing it. Eric does a great job, but the album version, I love it. Love it.
The album version is Gene singing, though, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
yep.
All right, Chris, you're up, buddy.
Oh, well, like you said, I mean, Gene does not have a lot of great tunes on. Actually, holy smokes, Asylum isn't on here either. Let me grab the Asylum.
Oh no,
you're missing the stuff on the right when you printed it out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Asylum and Hot in the Shade are in the same column. That's right.
Cool. And so is the Miscellaneous too.
Yeah, but
what's on the Miscellaneous?
Time Traveler and Ain't That Peculiar.
Okay, well, neither one of those are going to make it.
They're not good.
They're not good. I'm going to go with wow. It's one of my favorite Kiss songs. It was never actually a single. It's another Paul Stanley, Desmond. I'm going to go Who Wants to Be Lonely from Asylum.
Excellent.
Have you guys ever talking about the Cruise, you've seen the Bruce Kulick set with Todd Kearns and Brent Fitz, those guys?
I've seen some clips of it on YouTube, yes.
Yeah, they played Who Wants to Be Lonely last year. It was awesome, man.
Very
Kearns
cool.
is such a great singer for that.
Yep.
Which is one of my pet peeves about the End of the Road tour, Chris, and that is, why the fuck do they have a fucking painter opening up their show and they don't say to Bruce, why don't you bring that band, play those deep cuts that Kiss fans love that we're not going to touch, and Kiss fans would walk away home super excited.
Dude, and you know what pisses me off about that even more so is what is one of the things that Kiss is known for? Same as Iron Maiden. Picking opening bands that become huge.
Absolutely. They've always done that.
Kiss was one of, from Cheap Trick to Bon Jovi to Motley Crue to fucking, you name it, whoever. There's millions of them.
Yeah.
And the painter thing, I mean, that's total Paul.
Absolutely.
That's what happens when you get too big for your own britches where nobody comes up to you and says, no.
Thank you.
No, it's a bad idea. Nobody wants to see it. And it's like, well, who would you put in there?
Fozzy!
Well, that wouldn't be too bad. It'd be a good mix. But if you want to go a little bigger, fucking Greta Van Fleet,
absolutely,
or Joyous Wolf, or Hailstorm, or Fozzy, or a band that has that rock and roll feel that would keep people excited and get people warmed up. I don't get it.
But I think, Chris, you hit the nail on the head real quick, and we'll get right back into the draft. You said there's nobody around. We've talked about this many times on previous episodes. There's nobody around to tell Paul no.
Right.
Which is why he's producing his own albums.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want anybody telling him no, which is why, in my opinion, these albums are mediocre at best because he doesn't have anybody telling him no.
I agree 1,000%. It's the same reason why all the new Maiden records, while they have germs of great riffs and germs of great songs, they're too fucking long because they don't have a producer saying, edit out 3 minutes of this. And your 13-minute song will be an even better 10-minute song, and it's still long, which is what you want. But that's what happens. So
yeah, and I think what ends up happening is Gene I think Paul lets Gene go ahead, do your fucking marketing shit. I won't bother you. But when it comes to the band and the music and what we're doing, that's my shit. I don't want to hear crap from you.
And that all started during this time frame in the 80s when Gene was gone and Paul was there. So,
What
do you got next, Zeus?
All right, Zeus, you're up.
So, number 3 for me. I am cool. I am the breeze.
Oh, God.
Wow, interesting. That's cool.
All hell's breaking loose.
All right.
I still love that as a line. I am the breeze.
What be this and what be that?
Why you gotta look like that?
Yeah, that was a little racist. I don't know about you, but what the fuck is that?
All right, I'm gonna dip my toes into Hot in the Shade here first. I'm gonna go with my first Paul song, Silver Spoon.
Oh, I would have taken that one at some point.
Motherfucker.
Paul's terrific on that song.
That's a great song.
That album gets, we talk about this again, I'll tell you, album gets so much unnecessary hatred, and I don't know why. I mean, I know there's some filler on there, but.
Yeah, I think it's one of those records, if you would have pared it down to 12 songs instead of 15, it would have aged much better, because there's a lot of filler on it.
Yep.
But the great songs are still great.
Yep.
Yeah. And the production's terrible.
You're up.
You're up, Chris.
Oh, okay. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to save, like you said, it's a draft, so I got to be smart with my picks. Take some of the good ones. Yeah. I'll go with Turn on the Night.
Oh,
excellent. That earlier.
Nice.
It's definitely, I'm going more for the hits, but I'm trying to think if I was going to put out an album of these songs, which one has the best chance of selling. So yeah, I'll Turn on the Night. It should have been a lot bigger than it was. Which it wasn't big at all. It's got a really fun video to it. It's another one of those songs that when Kearns and Bruce Kulick played last year, it just kills.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to piss Tom off. I'm going to go back to Hot in the Shade. I'm going to go, You Love Me to Hate You.
Ooh.
Ass. Wow. I was going to take that before Silver Spoon, but no, I didn't get that.
I knew you liked that song. Paul, that's Paul at his highest pitched.
Oh, that's
vocals.
so high. Another Desmond Child song, too.
Yep.
Great song.
Yeah.
All right.
Tom.
Let's see. I am up. So I am going to go back to. No, I'm going to save that because I don't think anybody's going to grab that. I'm going to jump into Asylum, and I am going to take Tears Are Falling.
All right. It's not a bad one.
Got to stick with the hits for a little.
People think that's a Desmond song, but that's actually Paul by himself.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Great riff.
Yep. Chris, back to you.
All right. I'm just keeping track here. Tears Are Falling. You got to cross that out.
Yep.
I'm going to pick a Gene tune here because he does have some good songs from the 80s. I used to really bag on him for that era, but I'm kind of understanding it a little bit more. I'll go with the classic live jam that they did for many years in the 80s, Fits Like a Glove.
Oh, excellent. I couldn't believe when I saw them on the Hot in the Shade tour that they played that. That was in the set list.
They kept that in the set for the whole 80s pretty much, which is crazy.
Yep.
I think that's why. I think it's because most of Gene's stuff at that time frame sucked and Fits Like a Glove worked. So if we wanted to have something from the 80s, let's just do Fits Like a Glove again.
It's true.
Now, can you hit that butter note there, Chris?
Something like that.
Excellent.
Yeah,
perfect. Perfect.
You need to put that in
a high voice when he wants to. Times,
yeah.
You know?
I think Fozzy needs to put that in their set list now.
Oh, dude. I love that Kiss Analyze tour when they play that. And each guy gets a little solo, and Paul's just dancing over the place. It's super fucking fast the way they play it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my number 5. I'm gonna switch this around, and I've got a body built for sin and an appetite for passion.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that one.
There's some great Paul lyrics there with Vinny, I believe.
Yeah, that's a Vinny song. And it's funny how I mentioned to you that Revenge is my favorite Kiss studio record. I haven't taken one song from it yet.
Yep.
Did you think we were going to leave it alone?
So I'm next, and Chris is making me nervous here. So I have to jump on this song because this song may actually be better than Unholy, and I think it's a tremendous riff, and Eric and Bruce just drive this song along. Thou Shalt Not.
Oh, good one. That's a good one too, man.
I've always loved the way that they just push that song along during those verses. Awesome.
Great lyrics,
Yep.
great groove to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome solo.
Yeah,
It's got the little Hall of the Mountain King.
Yes.
Like I said, that's where Bruce was really coming into his own there. His work on that record is amazing.
Absolutely. Chris,
I better jump in the revenge pool before they're all gone. So before I'm left with every time I look at you or something.
Oh,
I'm going to go with Heart of Chrome.
nice.
Another one written by Vinny and Paul. Killer tune, and had that album had a little bit more legs, they probably could have released that as a single, I feel.
Yep.
I literally had that as my next song.
Did you?
Really?
I'm glad I took it when I did.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would have stole that. I'm going to go with, because I think I don't really have any Gene songs here. So I've got to give him some love. I'm going to go with a very demon-like song from Lick It Up, Not for the Innocent.
Oh, that's a good one.
Excellent.
I would eventually have taken that one too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Tomas.
Back to me. All right. I'm going to bring it back to Hot in the Shade. I love this album. I'm going to take another Paul hit. Well, should have been a hit. I'm going to go with King of Hearts.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that as soon as you said it. Dang.
Yep.
That's another of my favorite tunes on that record.
Love it.
Absolutely. Yep. We love that song.
All right.
Chris.
Back to me, huh? I'm going to go with the first choice from Carnival of Souls.
Ooh.
The most Kiss-like song to me is Master and Slave.
Carnival of Souls. I know it takes a beating, but I like it. I like that song.
I like when it goes, life isn't what it seems.
Yeah.
Wake up and start to...
Yep. It's awesome.
Great tune.
All right, Zeus, continue.
Right, so I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna take a hit and sell out. I'm taking Lick It Up.
Oh, dude,
All
what's
right.
wrong with that? You can't be mad at that one.
You know why they repeat the chorus? I always tell Dom this. You know why they repeat the chorus 1,000 times in a song? Because it's fucking awesome.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Fucking awesome. That riff and that chorus.
That is
Paul
not a good...
just knows. There's something about him. He just knows how to, Boris to the chorus. He just knows that hook and that chorus. And you might say whatever about Kiss, but then you hear that song and you're like, fuck, that stays in your head.
It's
brilliant,
dude. That's a Paul and Vinnie Vincent one right there.
Yep. Yep.
All right, I'm bringing up Crazy Nights. I'm going to take a Gene deep cut.
Ooh.
Hell or High Water.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I would have grabbed that one.
I've always liked that song. I like the chorus. I don't know. I think the Gene songs on Crazy Nights get a bad rap.
They do, and I'll tell you what the Gene songs on Asylum do as well. People just don't give them any credit, but they're all pretty strong tunes.
Yeah. All right, Chris, we're back at you, buddy.
Wow. Like I said, I'm going to go with this. It just got in my mind from this week because I played it on my serious show. I'm going to go with Hate from Carnival Souls.
See, I like that too. I
liked how they opened Carnival with another heavy Gene song. I thought that was kind of cool.
Like Revenge.
I appreciated that. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Zeus.
All right. So I am going to take a look here, and I'm now down to
This is round number 8.
Yes. I think I'm going to go a little bit of a deep cut.
Okay.
And get a little dirty and go with Dance All Over Your Face.
Wow.
What do you think he means by dance all over your face?
Well, I don't know. Let's take a wild guess.
I don't know if there's any sexual innuendos in that.
No.
It's like saying I'm going to face fuck you all over your face or something.
Fucking jizz all over you. All right.
I get it. That's Gene's code word for jizz. I'm going to dance on you.
That's right. I'm going to dance with you, baby. All right. You're up, Tom.
All right, me. I am going to go. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to Animalize. Another Gene song for me. I'm sorry. I got to go with it. I know the lyrics take a beating, but I love the riff. I think it's a killer riff. Burn, bitch, burn.
You're right.
We used to laugh at that because of how bad, I want to take my log into your fireplace.
Yeah.
Well, that's it's a pretty cool tune.
It really is.
I have some secret info that I think the Kulik band might be playing that, or at least a part of it, on the cruise this year.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Chris, you're up, buddy.
I'm going to go with another super killer Paul opening tune, and another, of course, no surprise, Desmond Child song, but Bruce is involved in this one too. King of the Mountain from
I'll tell you, the only thing I like about that song is Eric's drums.
Well, the rumor is that he was just messing around and warming up at the beginning, and they liked it so much they kept it. Same thing with Heaven's on Fire.
Heaven's on Fire,
vocal warm up, but
that's right.
I think the middle section of King of the Mountain is like something from like a early 70s Rush song or something. It's a little bit prog rock. I've always liked that.
Yep.
And I think, once again, you can't go wrong with any vocal that Paul had from that time frame, just at the peak of his powers.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Zeus,
my favorite part of that song is when it ends. That fucking song sucks. And the fact you said it reminds you of Rush makes me 100% sure that's why I don't listen to Rush.
See, we're just getting to know each other, so I didn't want to say anything, but Dance Liver's face is fucking awful. Terrible.
Chris,
I don't know if we can even hang out anymore. The only reason I didn't hang up is because Tom's on the line. I don't want to be rude.
You'll find out we have such different opinions on all this stuff.
But that's what makes it good.
Plus, there's no holds barred for shit on other people's opinions.
That's right.
You do.
That's right.
All right.
Go ahead, buddy.
So you took King of the Mountain.
Yep.
Yes.
So I've got. I'm taking too many pauses, so I want to switch it up. Oh, I got a great one for me. A Gene deep cut. Good Girl Gone Bad.
Oh,
that's another good Gene song off of Crazy Nights.
The music on that is awesome.
Yes.
You know, that was actually under brief consideration to be a single on that record.
Really?
They went with Turn on the Night instead.
Well, that should be too, but
which is the better choice. But that was the first time, because as you guys know, there was 10 years between I Love It Loud as a single and Unholy as a single.
Yep.
10 years in between where Gene had no singles and no video. So that was the closest he got until Unholy a few years later.
Yeah, that's a good one. Speaking of Gene, man, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm picking something else off of Asylum here. I'm going to go Secretly Cruel.
Oh, wow.
That is a good song, though.
I said earlier today, somebody was talking about Asylum. I said the problem with Asylum, it's an extremely uneven album because I think the good songs are really good and I think the bad songs are really bad.
Yeah,
you know,
that's kind of the pattern for Kiss records in the '80s, though, isn't it?
So I would agree. All right, back to you, Chris.
Well, once again, I'm assuming you guys probably have something against this song since you've been taking a lot of Genes and not this one. I love it, from Revenge Domino.
You know what? That was next on my. I had that check marked as my next pick.
Gotcha.
Damn it!
It's such a simple riff. It's great, and once again, it's another of these strange Gene songs where he just pulls his pants down and just bangs chicks at random. when it's not when that chick bends over or when she bends over. When that bitch bends over. Really?
Yeah, I know.
Did you really have to go there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you didn't need to do that.
When he's driving around drinking milkshakes, picking up underage girls.
The video.
Once again, it's the third in the triumvirate of Gene wanting to bang underage chicks.
Yeah.
Started with Going Blind. You're 16, I'm 93. Goes into Christine 16. And this one, Domino isn't even young enough to vote. How old do you have to be to vote? 18? So she's not even 18. And now he's even older. Now Gene, in 1992, what was he, like 55 or something?
That's right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, Zeus.
So Domino was Chris. Let me take it off. I'm going to wrap up because this is my favorite album, Chris, and this is why I got it. So you thought Dance All Over Your Face is bad. I'm taking And on the Eighth Day.
Oh, wow. That really got heat with me now.
Yeah. I like that. Zeus, I'm on your side. I'm on your side there, but I can't believe you just drafted that. But I like it. Back to me. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to Hot in the Shade, and it's still there, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take Hide.
Great tune. Yeah, that should be taken. If one of us didn't take that one, it'd be because we're being too pretentious. Because that is a great song.
It's a great song. Yeah. I think it was Paul's attempt at a Living on a Prayer with the storytelling with Tito, King of the Streets, and all that kind of shit.
Once again, right there with him was Desmond Child. So Des worked once for Des.
That's right.
Is it my turn?
It is.
I'm going to go with possibly the highest vocal ever recorded by Paul Stanley on the Kiss record. It takes a lot of flack because it's got so much keyboards on it. If they would have put heavy guitars in place, it'd be a Kiss classic. I'm going with My Way from Crazy Nights.
God, I love the fact that you took that song. I love that song.
Have you ever heard the isolated vocal on YouTube?
I have not. No.
Oh, dude, it's so great. I'll look it up for you here. But yeah, so yeah, it's such a high song.
Oh, I love that song.
And once again, it's got the great Paul Stanley lyrics of just believe in yourself. And just do what you can to survive and all that.
You can do it, water boy, as I say. That's what it is.
All right, Zeus, go ahead.
So you are showing. It's funny because picking shit like My Way. I'm like, oh my God. But then again, he takes, let's put the X in sex right up top. So it's like, you're right in between us. It's not that bad, Chris. You're right in the middle. So I've got to take, I think I've taken everything from Lick It Up that I can. So I got to spread my wings here. I got to go somewhere else. I'm going to go out on a limb and take another deep cut Gene song.
Oh, no.
I'm going to take Love's a Slap in the Face.
Oh, my goodness.
See, I think that's Jericho's way of saying, dude, that song fucking blows.
I will say this, Zeus. Once again, this is why being a Kiss fan is so cool. I've never met anybody that loves 80s Gene songs as much as you. I mean, that's
I love it.
Yeah, I like that too.
Gene there, for sure.
Yeah. No,
we did a wish. I think it was overrated, underrated things about Kiss episode, and I put Gene's 80s songs are very underrated because he gets shit on. I think he's got a lot of shit songs, and that's the problem. Yeah. But in there's some really good songs. I like them.
All right, I'm next.
So you're up,
Zeus, and there is something good left on Wick It Up that you did not take.
You know what? You're right.
Whisper my name inside.
I love it. That's such a what an awesome album opener. Oh, Exciter. Take it. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, we got a great new guitarist. He's the fucking hottest guitarist around. By the way, Rick Derringer, you want to play the fucking lead on this song?
I know.
What the hell was that? That's the shit that they would do, Chris. That bugs the fuck out of me. They should have just stopped. You're in the band. You're the one playing on this album.
A lot of
it's all about the album for those guys, though, man. It's not about personal glory.
Chris, I think this is your last pick, buddy.
It is. I'm just going to want you to just hear a little bit of this.
Okay.
But if you take it like stone, stand on your own, you can make the great in time. I'm never gonna run. I'm never gonna tell myself a lie. Cause after it's all said and done, I won't be wondering why. I know that under the sun, I am the one who's got the right to stay. I'm gonna talk like I talk, walk like I walk my way.
I mean, that's amazing, huh?
Dude, I love it. I love it.
That is so killer.
See? I can't believe Jericho likes My Way. Dude, that is so good.
How does he not like that as a singer? Like, take the keyboards out. That vocal performance there.
Awesome.
You can find it on YouTube. Just go My Way, vocals only, Kiss. It's
awesome.
fucking amazing. So, I'm going to close out with a song that, once again, you have to take it. It's their biggest hit of this time frame. And once again, one of the most well-written songs that they ever did. Not with Desmond Child, though. This one was Paul and Michael Bolton. I'm talking about Forever.
I think one of my favorite parts of that song is Bruce's acoustic solo.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I asked Bruce that when he was on Talk is Jericho. He's been on a couple times, but I said, what was the inspiration for that solo? And he said he came in and played an electric solo. And Paul said, no, I want something more like Led Zeppelin, like Over the Hills and Far Away or something like that. And that's what he came up with. It's just a brilliant solo.
Yeah, it's perfect. Excellent song. Yep.
All right. I'm going to take a burner, and what Tom says he doesn't like is Fast Kiss.
Right.
I like some Fast Kiss.
Fast Kiss sucks. What song?
Under the Gun.
Oh, that's a good one. I was hoping you wouldn't pick Boomerang.
No. That's like fucking one of the worst songs ever made.
But I don't think anybody's got a gun to my head to pick fucking Boomerang.
Under the Gun is a great tune. And it's another song they played on the Hot in the Shade tour.
That's right.
Oh, That's right. That's right. And that's when he was hitting the highway doing 69.
That's the only good thing. That's the only good thing about that shit song, but that's okay. All right. All right. So my last pick.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna stay with Animalize, and I'm gonna go with Thrills in the Night.
Another.
My last.
They did a concert video for that.
They did. Yeah. They actually did a concept video for it where they were all businessmen, and the chick was a secretary at their office, and they all had like their hair in ponytails, they were wearing like suits and stuff. But yeah, it was a huge. I guess it just sucked, and they're like, "Now let's just do a concert one instead."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See the stuff that you learn here from Jericho being on your show?
I love it.
We're taking all this info in, deep cuts, learning some info. So that's our picks. I will put them out on social media.
Well, I think we should go through and read out our albums. So
I was going to go each individual one. Do you know what your picks are? Do you have them written down? All right. So what's your album, Chris?
Go ahead. Read off your album.
I was just trying to find if I could find any stills from the original Thrills in the Night.
Oh, God.
But there isn't any. But I know there is some. They look like losers, like just total like businessmen type thing. But okay, so my album in no particular order of choice was Heaven's on Fire, Fits Like a Glove, Let's Put the X in Sex, Domino, Master and Slave, My Way, Forever, Who Wants to Be Lonely, King of the Mountain, Turn on the Night, Heart of Chrome, and Hate is What I Am.
That's a great pick. I like it. I like that. I already like it. I already like it.
That's made up of, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3 Gene songs and 9 Paul songs, which for my tastes of that time frame is pretty close to how I feel.
That sounds about right. Yep.
How about you?
Zeus, what do you got, buddy?
I got 1,000,000-1. Take It Off. All Hell's Breaking Loose. You Love Me to Hate You. I Just Wanna. Not for the Innocent. Lick It Up. Dance All Over Your Face. Chris's favorite. Good Girl Gone Bad. And On the 8th Day. Loves a Slap in the Face and Under the Gun. That means I have 5 Gene songs and 7 Paul.
Okay. It's not bad.
All right. I got Unholy, Young and Wasted, Silver Spoon, Tears Have Fallen, Thou Shall Not, King of Hearts, Hell or High Water, Burn, Bitch, Burn, Secretly Cruel, Hide Your Heart, Exciter, and Thief in the Night. So I got.
You might have more Gene songs.
I do. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 Gene, which sounds about right for me. Gene's my guy.
There you go.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Great collection. Are you going to make playlists of those, Zeus?
I can. I will certainly do that. I'll put them up and see who. We'll do a poll and see whose album is better. I don't think mine's going to win. I took a lot of deep cuts there. So time is running out. We had some questions for you, Chris, before we let you go. Go ahead, Tom.
Real quick, Chris. I know time is of the essence here. So this is a topic that Zeus and I talk about all the time. We talk about it on social media, and we talk about it on our show as well. I'm going to bring up Eddie Trunk real quick, okay? Because Eddie Trunk beats the drum consistently about bands performing with tracks, real rock, etc., etc. And he will specifically bring up Paul, especially when the End of the Road tour started. So if you can briefly touch generally what your take is on, all real, all live, no tracks, which whatever. So generally that, and then Paul's vocals specifically. Talk, if you can, about that real quick.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things as singers get older, sometimes you lose a little bit of range in your voice, especially when you're talking about, like, the reason why Kiss doesn't do a lot of 80s songs is because Paul's range just isn't the same. And like we just heard with My Way, these fucking melody lines are so high. It's the same reason why Ozzy doesn't do a lot of the Sabbath songs anymore. It's just too much for your voice at that point. So
right.
I'd rather hear Paul sound good than sound like he's hurting himself. I think there's some tracks in the background, but newsflash, I'd say 90% of the bands use tracks in the background. It doesn't mean he's lip syncing or not singing. It just means there's some fortifying there. And if you don't believe me, go to a Def Leppard show. There's no way 4 guys, and they all sing, and they all sing great, but you can't replicate those Mutt Lange 85 track harmonies and vocals, just like step inside, walk this way, you and me, babe. Hey, hey. There's probably, I'd say, 20 voices on that. So it sweetens the pot, and I think there might be a little bit of blending in there, meaning if Paul's having a rough night, they might turn him up a bit, or they might let Gene and Eric handle the heavy lifting. Yep. Bottom line is the same as Ozzy. If you go to a Kiss show or an Ozzy show to hear picture-perfect vocals, don't. You go there for the vibe, for the entertainment, for the production. If you want to see somebody stand there and sing perfectly like they're on the record, go watch fucking Adele. If you want to go to a rock and roll show and have a great time, go see Kiss.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So I'm going to jump on that, though. The other thing that I call him Stuart from Beavis and Butthead. The other thing that he likes.
Hey, I love Eddie too. He's a good friend of mine, and I have this debate with him all the time.
Okay,
he feels that way, and that's just how it is. So.
But you don't. It's personal because anytime he brings it up, it's all because him and Paul and Gene kind of don't get along.
Yeah.
Oh,
and so there's a fun thing on Facebook, which is Kiss face groups, and they're fucking toxic as hell.
Oh,
and
awful.
As much as they love the Kiss, the band, they love the shit. I mean, I've heard you say before, and I quote all the time: Star Wars, wrestling, and Kiss fans, fanatics, but love to bitch about shit.
That's right.
And,
they hate everything, but they'll still show up to every show and buy every piece of merchandise. They just won't like any of it.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the thing is, I saw our Facebook group. They called them, "I only want to hear about original Kiss, not this Diet Kiss band that's out there now." So apparently, Kiss is not real Kiss; it's Diet Kiss, along with AC/DC's probably Diet Kiss, and all these other
Stones aren't original. Rolling Stones aren't real, and Metallica's not real. And
your thoughts on that, like the Tommy, the Ace controversy?
It's ridiculous. It's how it is. It's a band that's been together since 1973 that's had all the same members. There's one of them, and it's called ZZ Top. Other than that, every band has changes. Every band has guys coming in and out. A band like Aerosmith actually basically broke up for a few years. Kiss never did. The two components of Kiss never left. Even when Joe Perry left Aerosmith, Gene never left Kiss. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards have always been in Stones. It's the Stones. Lars and James have always been in Metallica. It's Metallica. Kiss with Paul and Gene, they're better now than they've ever been. If Ace was in the band now and Peter was in the band now, they wouldn't sound like they do because those guys don't play with that type of fire, and they couldn't stick to that road schedule. I don't know if everyone's complaining still about Guns N' Roses not being the real Guns N' Roses. If you do, shut your fucking mouth and just go to the show. AC/DC with Axl Rose was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. If the band is hot, if the band is tight, if the band rehearses, and the band gets players in there who are just as good or better than the originals, then just shut up and enjoy it. If you don't want to go, don't go. But I don't think there's been a Kiss show yet that didn't sell out. And I've seen Ace Frehley play recently. You can tell he doesn't practice.
Absolutely.
It's just the way it is. So why would you want to have a guy who's not as technically good, who's going to have some attitude, cause problems, have temper tantrums? Nobody wants to deal with that anymore. It's the same reason why Sebastian's not in Skid Row. It's just they just don't want to deal with it anymore. So that's my answer.
Perfect.
Yeah, but to me, Sebastian Bach is way different in Skid Row than Ace Frehley is to Kiss.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's why it makes a difference of people buying a ticket.
The two main guys and the two drivers of the band, and every band has two guys that are kind of the brain, the wonder kind, the brain trust. If they're not, it's like Megadeth, where it's Mustaine and a revolving cast. But Gene and Paul are Kiss, have always been Kiss, always will be Kiss, and kept Kiss rolling when those other guys dropped out from the start, even when those guys were still in the band. That's why you had Bob Kulick playing and Anton Fig playing and all those guys. Because, if Ace is going to play a card game instead of doing a solo, okay. Hey, Bob, you want to come play some guitar? Like, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, no, I got it. And what I love is like your perspective is real. It's like I feel like Paul and Gene have earned the right to go on their last tour without being like, is he going to fucking show up on time? Is he going to remember this? Do I need somebody to help him on this guitar part because he can't keep up with it? Like they've earned the fact. And the fact is Tommy and Eric are professionals. When me and Tommy saw it, that's the thing that stood out for us. When we saw them in the end of the road tour, 2 of the concerts, this like those guys are fucking awesome. They carry the show. They've given us extra years of Kiss to enjoy because how well they've played and kept Paul and Gene fresh by being so good.
Oh, Eric and Tommy are the reason that they're still touring. And I think the thing, and I've heard people on social media and other friends, Tommy Thayer is blowing people away with his performance on the show. On live. His solos, I mean, Let Me Go Rock and Roll is a song I'm not a huge fan of. Tommy Thayer's solo just burns on that. And him and Eric are propelling that band forward the way they are. They could never be doing that with Ace, let alone Peter.
Tommy Thayer is a great, great player. Only problem with him is that he wears Ace's makeup. But you know what? I always go back to this. I took my son and his friend to the show back in 2015. And they loved the Spaceman. Didn't know who Ace Frehley is, but they know who the Spaceman is. Their version, their floor that they got on the Kiss elevator was the Tommy Thayer lineup, and that's the Spaceman to them. Just like to me, it's why I still love Bruce Kulick so much. That was the guitar player in Kiss when I became obsessed with Kiss. So I think all of those guys are relevant. They all mean something, but if you're going to still have your head up your ass and go, with no Ace Frehley, no Kiss, you are a stupid fucking dude, man, because it's not what it's all about.
There it is.
That's awesome.
So, perfect way to end.
All right. Perfect way to go. Yeah. So last thing I want to say is for us, we always tell people they can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. You can interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on the Pantheon Podcast Network. You can find some of our merch on Click Tee Shop. Chris is wearing one of Ed's T-shirts from Click Tee Shop. That's KLICKTEESHOP.com. Ed does an awesome job, and he's got some exclusive Eric Carr T-shirts out right now with the Eric Carr's family that he's got licensed. And take a look at them; they're awesome. And if you want, give us a review on any of those channels like iTunes or Podchaser. And we always enjoy those 5-star child reviews. And finally, email us at shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Chris, anything you want to tell us about anybody before we let you go? Your stuff?
This has been one of the greatest nights of my life, talking to you guys. And really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And like I said, next time I'm through Boston, we'll get together and drink some vodka and come up with some other wacky topic to discuss.
Absolutely.
So I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. And once again, on the 8th day and Dance to Your Face are fucking rotten.
Yes.
So do you have any famous last words?
No, I do. Yeah, hold on. I got you got my heart in a hangman's noose. Pull the rope and make it tight. Love's like a chain holding you to me. You're the lock, baby, I'm the key.
Nice. And I think this is one of Chris's favorites. Everybody knew you used me, but I was just too blind to see. You taped our sexy conversations and you sold them to the BBC.
Oh, God, that is Paul bitching at his finest. What?
Thank you, everybody, for out there. Much appreciated. To Chris Jericho, Kiss Army, Tom, thank you.
Thank you for everybody. Chris had to cut out quickly, so we didn't get a chance to record our thanks to him, but he'll be listening to this. We want to thank him for his time and energy and humor for last night at the wrestling show and today for recording. And we hope you guys enjoy this very special episode. We're happy with it, and we hope you guys have a great time with it. Thank you.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.